So these are the ingredients that everybody should have in their hair care toolkit. Now, the ingredients, obviously, you're not gonna have as individual ingredients, but you should have them in your topical treatments. If you do not have them, then throw your whole hair care routine away. Like, because it's not hair care, it's hair styling, and that's okay. In that case, don't throw it away, but throw it away, okay? So let me tell you something. If you don't know, I am 100% the ambassador of skincare for your scalp, okay? You need to treat your scalp the same way you treat your face so that you can have thick, long, beautiful hair. Not like me, because these are K-tips, but I do have pretty decent hair that I grew back after losing it in 2019. I'll try to insert pics. So all that to say, let's go into the video so that I can keep it short, under 15 minutes. We'll try. So first things first is you want to have niacinamide. Niacinamide, I know it's a skincare product. It's like big in skincare. I use it every single day in my SPF. But why it's really good for your scalp is because it's going to strengthen your scalp's barrier and it's going to reduce irritation. So why that's important is because it's going to balance oil production on your scalp. Why do you care about that? Because the more oil, the more sebum that you produce, the more you clog those follicles, the more those follicles are clogged, the more you compromise the health of your hair and you start to do things like actually shed excessively or shed prematurely, okay? I know, it's crazy. Anyway, so you can use it maybe 3 times a week in an essence. I do have an essence that I recommended in a previous video. I'll try to find it. Or like in a scalp tonic, you can do that. There are some hair loss serums that have niacinamide in them. If they're smart, they would make sure they put niacinamide in them. So there are hair loss serums. Now, I'm not sure if the ordinary multi-peptide has that. Yeah, whatever. But you want to apply it directly to the scalp, especially when you are wearing a protective style. I call it a unprotective style because they're not protective, but you know, just for the sake of point, you guys know what I mean. So yeah, now how does it work? How does niacinamide do all of this? Well, it's going to improve keratin synthesis. It's going to boost blood circulation on the scalp. It's going to calm and reduce any type of redness that you have. And there are clinical studies that confirm the efficacy of niacinamide directly on the scalp. Because of all this, what does this mean in English? It can actually thicken hair because it's gonna really just enhance the barrier function of your scalp. Anyway, the next one is salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is a beta hydroxy acid, aka a BHA, aka a clinical exfoliant. Or clinical exfoliator. It's gonna be very important because salicylic acid on your scalp is gonna unclog your follicles, dissolve product buildup, and it's gonna reduce flakiness. Now, we all know that we can benefit from all of this, right? And no, please do not use the St. Ives apricot scrub on your scalp. No, like, and I know no one uses St. Ives no more. I'm dating myself. Yes, I'm that old. But the point and the blank and the period is that you don't want to use a physical exfoliator. Physical exfoliator are things that have those micro beads or micro sensations like sugar scrubs or anything that you can feel it kind of doing. That's going to create micro tears, which can open up room for infection, inflammation, and overgrowth of bacteria on the scalp. So you want to use this about once or twice a week as a shampoo or scalp treatment. Like I said, there are some hair growth serums that also have salicylic acid in them, that has them in them if they're smart, but also you can just go ahead and get you know, one of those pre-shampoos or medicated cleansers that has them in them. So just look for, you know, a scalp treatment or a shampoo or whatever with salicylic acid in it, okay? Oh, and just so you know how it works, it's working because it's breaking down the oil plugs and it's gonna dissolve that dead skin that's on your scalp, and it's gonna reduce things like dandruff and sebderm. So those flakes that y'all see that y'all scratching off with a comb and a fork, please stop, because it's not doing anything for you at all. So the next thing that's very important, you know, and I'll include at the end the products that have these in, some products that have these in them, just so you guys don't cheat and leave. You know, I need to, you know, you got to pay for the cow. You know what I'm saying? You can't just come and get what you want and leave. So subscribe. The next thing that's very important to have is peptides / amino acids. So this is important because these amino acids are these compounds that are going to strengthen or rebuild bonds in your hair. Now, I have a whole lot of videos on bond repair products. I'm not going to talk about that here. I'm trying to keep this video short and I'm already failing. But the point is, these are very important for strengthening your hair hair and for just pretty much repairing the hair, okay? That's what you want. So there's short chains of protein amino acids that mimics the natural hair, and that's called biomimetic. They're mimicking your natural hair's, you know, amino acids, and those are really good for pretty much allowing the hair to be fortified and to create more amino acids and more building blocks. So you want to add, and you also want the body to create more. Those are two ways of doing it, and that's very important. All bond repairs, that's what I meant to say. Not all peptides are bond repairs, but all bond repairs are amino acids and peptides. I meant to say that, okay, but whatever. But I can't break that down in this video. So you want to use this at least once a week for maintenance. Well, once a week for maintenance, or, you know, up to 6 times. Listen to the manufacturer. Pick the one that you want. The way that it works, obviously, is going to fill in the gaps of the cuticles, is going to increase elasticity to reduce breakage, and it works a lot deeper when it comes to like the shaft and the cuticle and the cortex of the hair, but I'm not going into all that tea right now. All I want you to know is that everybody needs amino acids / peptides in their hair care product so that you can actually strengthen and rebuild your hair, okay? Especially if you deal with a lot of heat damage and color damage. Next, ceramides. Ceramides are very, very important because they're gonna restore the hair barrier. The same way ceramides restore the skin barrier, it's locking in moisture and it's improving elasticity. Pretty much what it's doing is, like, these are lipids that are essentially acting like glue between the hair cuticle cells. So they're literally making sure that, you know, when you have curly hair and you have that nice little thick piece of curl that you gotta separate, ceramides are gonna be perfect for that. That's why you wanna use a lot of moisturizing creams or cream curlers when you're trying to accomplish that type of clumpy curl look, right? So you're gonna use these ceramides. They're gonna help you to make sure that you don't have a lot of protein loss in the hair. Essentially, you want your curls to curl. You want them to be nice. You want your, whatever your hair texture is, you want the most buoyancy, and you're gonna get that out of your ceramides. So ceramides is very, very important, again, to keep the flexibility in color treated hair. Especially ceramides are important for women with high porosity hair. The next thing is caffeine and zinc. Caffeine and zinc, these are really good. Caffeine, I think, is the dopest thing that anyone can have in their product. It serves as a booster, a boosting agent, right? So it's gonna boost the efficacy of whatever the product is. So let's say you use minoxidil, you add caffeine to that minoxidil, is gonna boost the efficacy of the minoxidil. So whatever the benefits are of minoxidil, caffeine is gonna enhance that ×2. It's powerful. It's also powerful in the fact that it's gonna stimulate the follicles and it's going to support scalp health, and zinc is gonna regulate oil and reduce inflammation. So these two are powerful individually, but they're even better together. You want these to be in a serum, you want them to be in a shampoo that you can use maybe once a week. But honestly, I like to take them in a supplement, but that's not this video. I'm talking about topical. But if you really want the boosting effects of how, you know, caffeine could penetrate the follicles and how it blocks DHT, which is linked to hair loss, and how the zinc can pretty much calm the sebaceous activity that's causing scalp irritation, you want to take it as an oral. That's my opinion. Oh my gosh, 11. I'm sorry, I'm rushing because I'm trying to make my videos shorter. So let's quick recap, ladies and gents and baddies. Niacinamide is going to be great for your scalp barrier. The salicylic acid is going to reduce the flaking and make sure that it really exfoliates your scalp. The peptides are powerful for strength. Like I said, all bond repairs are peptides. Not all peptides are bond repair, but that's not this video. Ceramides for elasticity, and caffeine and zinc for shedding or to stop hair shedding. And they all have different ways of doing this. These are the top ingredients that you should have. I mean, these are the essentials. There are more. There are more. Trust me. If you watch me, there are more, but these are the essentials. If you don't have these basic ingredients in your everyday or every week essentials for your hair care, you're not really hair caring. You're not. It's a whole placebo effect, and I'm sorry to tell you, and I'm sorry you had to find out that way. Anyway, I love you, baddies. Let me know if you want me to do more, you know, hair care ingredients that you should have in your toolbox down below, and I'm happy to make more. Bye. Oh my gosh, I did it. 12 minutes.